art of networking. And I should put a disclaimer because I should put a disclaimer. I am not an expert in networking, but I am happy to share with you today what has worked for me. I think a number of people will see me as an extrovert because I am sometimes all over the place. But to be honest with you, networking is like chloroquine. You know, the way people run away from it because of its bitter taste. So I run away from it. I am not your typical, hand you your card and probably reach out afterwards. I'm not that kind of person. But I would tell you that networking is a skill set. It must be learned. I would also tell you how I have been able to overcome that, I won't call it a challenge, because again, I don't even move close to recognize, because I don't like feeling uncomfortable, that's anxiety that comes from meeting new people. I don't like putting myself in that position. So I try to run away from it, but I would share with you, what I have been able to do to scale that challenge. And I would also share with you what you can do from tomorrow. I was speaking with Ore yesterday, chatting actually with Ore, and I said I don't have any slide because I don't think what you need is the definition of networking according to Webster. No, that's not it. I want to share something that, maybe from tomorrow, you can start implementing and it will make a whole lot of sense. And maybe you might also pick some of the reasons why people don't come back to you after meeting you for the first time. Because you see, sometimes you meet someone and it was a very good, meeting, and you expect that you kick it right off after that. But you just realize that it's beginning to look like you're the pest. They don't pick your calls, they don't, and that's networking gone wrong. So there might be something you're doing, wrong, that is also not making these people, stay within your space. I was thinking while preparing for this session that I have actually I've changed jobs now 3 times. Yeah. And the only place where I applied to get the job is my first place of work, which is PZ Cousins. Before then, I'm this typical shy girl. I don't even want to, I have my few friends, few kakos, and that's me. And then the opening came up while I was still serving that, PZ Cousins is recruiting. Of course, I don't know anybody there. I just put in my CV and, we had a series of tests, interview, and blah, blah. I got the job. That's about the only place I've applied to. You see the rest of the places, Coca-Cola Hellenic, Freestone Campina, even Dangote Cement now, I didn't apply. And, that kind of struck me as maybe you're actually a good networker. Eh? Maybe you just didn't, you've never given yourself enough credit for it. Or maybe you can build relationship. Maybe you know how to do it, because I've gotten into those jobs through the people I have networked with in the past, or the people that I have worked with. And that's why I believe that at some point it stopped being about what you know, and it starts being about who you know and how you put yourself out there. So I'm going to be sharing a bit of my own story, and I would share with you what I also think, at the time I was doing it, it wasn't principle for me. I wasn't following a principle. I was just doing it. But now I'm going to lay it out like principle and say to you, you know what, I think you should do this. I think you should do that. I get a lot of messages on my LinkedIn, even though I've not been very active these days because I am honestly very stressed. Like I told Ore yesterday, I'm trying to, get my head around a couple of things I'm doing at the same time. But I get these messages, and some I respond to, some I don't respond to. And I'll tell you what also is that criteria for me, because again, we are all social human beings and we want to always connect with people, but you can tell when the relationship is going to be symbiotic and when it's going to be parasitic. And as much as I encourage people to, go all out and network and meet people and all that, I also like to say that it's an art. You have to learn it. You have to know how to do it well so that you can have a mutually beneficial relationship. So nobody sees you as a pest. Nobody sees you, like, oh, what does she want this time? So it's more about you call and they're excited to talk to you because they know that you are bringing value as much as you're coming to take value. So I would start first by, I would probably be looking down. I have a couple of, talking points that I would. So before going into the principles of networking, which I said I would lay out to you, I would like to call out some things that doesn't represent networking. For example, you go to an event, which I see all the time. You go to an event and then you sit beside someone, and without even, connecting with the person, you hand over your business card to the person, I don't think that's networking. I think that's just, that's nothing, to be honest with you. That's nothing. I got an invite for Adebola Williams' launch or relaunch of his book, and I met someone there. I actually sat beside her, very good conversationalist, because we just kept on talking. She was talking about her work. She's a data scientist. I was talking about my work and kind of just connected. And when the program started, and that was before the program, when the program started, we sat beside each other. And then a third lady joined us. And of course, we opened up the conversation to her, but it wasn't like she introduced herself, maybe not introduced, but we just talked. And then when she was ready to go, she handed me a card, handed the other lady a card. And it was from that card I saw that, she's about, I don't know, but she's vying for a position. And I felt she should have just told us about it. She should have, because I believe that is real networking. Because again, you may never see me again, and that's your only opportunity. I think it was one, to be honest, I cannot remember what, but I could tell from that she was in something constituency. She's vying for a position and all that. And then she gave the card to me. I had the card for a couple of days, and then I asked myself, why am I keeping this card? Because even if I call her now, she doesn't even know me. We met, we talked, and she not like she even said a lot. She was just looking at us, chipped in a few words. So that's not networking, because at that point, and I also know that people struggle with these things and they just want to drop their card and go, no, that's not networking. And because I didn't get back to her, I didn't call her afterwards. What again I would say is not networking is you meet somebody in a lift or in a very, in a place where you're actually surprised to meet the person. For example, what they say about elevator page, and you meet this person and you're so excited, oh, it was so good to meet you, and blah, 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 and then you hand over your card. I don't think that's networking. So my own definition of networking is when you intentionally go out to meet people. You know the people you're going out to meet, and you're reaching out to, and you know what value you can bring on board and what value you need from them. It has to be intentional. The others I would classify as making acquaintances, not really networking. So I'd like to separate that, because I've realized that a number of people that connect with me sometimes, they are really not it's not intentional networking. It's more about, I just meet you and that's it. And I'll tell you the things that differentiates, who I respond to, because again, you cannot respond to everybody on LinkedIn, and that's, to be very honest, it's not pride, it's nothing. It's just time, But there are people that would, and I think I also mentioned this on our Gold Digger Professional Network group before, to say the relationship has to be that you're also bringing something on board. So sometimes I say people, dear Adebola, please find attached my CV. I don't have a company of my own, and I'm not in HR, so there's really nothing I would do with that CV. And then some people will come and say, oh, I have the skills. Please feel free to, contact me if you need something related to, by all means, I am connecting, because again, I am already seeing somebody that is knowing, that knows the importance of our relationship has to be mutually beneficial. You say please, I would like you to be my mentor. And to be honest, I don't mind, but I'm also asking the next logical question, which is, what area do you need mentoring on? What specific area, so that I know how to target the discussion, and you won't hear from them anymore. And you see, the reason for this also is that we all like the idea of success. We all like the idea of, connecting with people. We all like the idea of, growing, until it then becomes that time when we have to put in the work. That's when people kind of now, shy away. So my own idea is, when you're connecting with people on, especially social, network, you should not come with what you need them to do for you first. It's more about, I have this and I'm happy to offer it. I like using something called, please feel free to pick my brain at any time. I can help with, feel free to pick my, and I hope it's also, I have that leeway as well to pick your brain on any issue. So I already make it, we are in this together to get value. I remember last year, I reached out to this popular artist. Or remind me his name again. This Ajala.
Adebola Latif.
Yes. I reached out to him that I wanted him to, come talk to us at Gold Digger conference and all that. But you see, before reaching out to him last year, asking him to come, I'd already connected with him like 3 years back. I just kind of like him. I like the way he carries himself. I like the way he does his job. I like the way he's sort of different. He's a Yoruba actor, but he's not that, he does the two, basically. He does, English movies, and he does, so I kind of like him. And I know that with celebrities, sometimes they come with this air that, you feel very uncomfortable around them. But I don't feel that he is that kind of a person. And I know that he's somebody I think I can learn from, So I reached out to him on Instagram, first introduced myself. My name is da. I work da. And I said, I like what you do. I think that at some point we might have, something to gain from each other. Of course, I'm in the corporate space. I'm not an actress, but please feel free to reach out to me if you also want to talk, and I hope you would. I can also do the same with you. And then we just connected, and then we exchanged phone numbers. Very receptive guy, and then we started talking. I cannot even begin to tell you the times they will call me seeking advice on certain things. For some, I would say, you know what, I'm not very good in this area. Let me connect with someone that may be able to help you. And sometimes it's just hello, hi. I like talking about when you meet that person, that network that you want to keep, oil it. And I'll get to that when I'm talking about the principles, the things that have worked for me, basically. So, oil it, such that it doesn't go dry, so that you don't start from the beginning again. So oil that relationship. So we kept on oiling it. Some days I'm the one reaching out, some days I reach out more actually, because I know he's very busy, but I also know that I need him. Forget that thing people say that networking is not transactional. It is very transactional. What is not transactional is when you help someone with the intent of getting something from them in the future, then that's that's transactional, and that may not be too nice. But when you reach out to someone because there is something you can exchange, it could be information, it could be ideas, then it is transactional. So networking is transactional. So I know that at some point I would like to bring him on board so that we learn how he moved, because he didn't study, from what I heard. It's not like he studied acting and all that. How did he get into the space? I knew at some point also he had challenges with people kind of mixing him up or comparing him with Odunlade. And I think he mentioned this when he came last year. So, how was he able to get out of that shadow? How did he make a name for himself? So I was oiling. I was more doing the oiling. And then last year he came and people really, learned from his session. So you can imagine. Thank you. So you can imagine how long it took for us to be able to, get to where I can actually withdraw from that social account. I call it social currency. It's like you spending out of your social currency, so I kept on depositing into that bank account, social bank account, and then I withdrew from it last year. So it is very transactional. And of course, I'm still foiling. And of course, it's also still oiling, and that relationship continues. So it's not, out of place to reach out to people, but when we are networking, we should do it with a lot of intentionality. So I would, basically what I have put here are the things that, if you look at it in hindsight, I think it has worked, and which is the first one, especially as it relates to career. You have to know what you want, whether it's career, whether it's business. Before networking, you have to be clear, clarity of direction. You have to be clear what you want. When you're clear, you know what to ask, who to ask. So for me, when I started my career, I used to tell everybody that cares to listen, that I want to be a CFO. I used to talk to my then CFO in PZ, and I would say it a lot to say I'm really, really, I'm really looking forward to growing my career in finance and becoming the CFO of a company one day, and he used to joke about it, he's a funny person, funny man. He used to joke about it, but he was always guiding me. And I think that sort of took our relationship away from boss subordinates to more mentor mentee. So he was there to guide as much as possible. And it was through him that I got my next job. So the first one is clarity of intention, clarity of purpose, clarity of direction. Where exactly are you going? So you know how to ask for help and who to network with to get the help. I chose him because he was living my life at that time. You look at someone and I'm like, I need to get close to this person because this person is living my life. This person is living the life I would like to live. And I got close. I wasn't the only one reporting to him. We were many. And I think I was just fortunate. I was very young in career. I was supposed to be reporting into a finance director. Even finance director would have been big for me, maybe reporting to maybe a senior financial analyst or something like that. But I was reporting into him directly because we didn't have a finance director. So he kind of fits that, mentor role for me as it relates to my career. So that's the first one, know what you want and be clear about it. And then the second one also for me is about competency. So sometimes you network with people and they don't connect back. They don't, because they also don't know what they can get from you. Not like they're not happy to guide you. They're happy to guide you, but they also want to be sure that that thing you're aspiring for, you're putting in the work to get that. And I like saying that because you cannot do anything without that depth of knowledge in your space. So you know what you want, and using my example, be the CFO. And then the second leg is, do I have the skills? Do I have the experience? Do I have the knowledge? No, I don't. But am I building on it? Yes. Because then when you're talking to someone, they see somebody that is ready. There's a Yoruba proverb that says, Entoba Shiapa no mangbi. That means it is a child that raises a hand that the mother or the father or anybody carries. But when you are also not trying to get it, you would hardly find people. If you like network from today till tomorrow, you will hardly find people who are happy to also lead you towards that direction that you want to get to. So the first question I put is, what do you want? You have to be very clear. Then the second one is, how ready are you for it? Professionally, how ready are you for it? Are you working towards it? How are you filling the gap? What is your knowledge about, the industry you play? What's your knowledge about the company? I say this a lot, whether you're working in FMCG or whatever industry or service industry, you have to know something about the industry you're playing in, know something about the company, know something about your department. So how versed are you in terms of all this knowledge? So professionally, are you working towards developing your competency level? And then personally, sometimes it is not, when people buy products or when people transact with you, it's not just about the product, it's not just about the service, it's about you as a human being. And I'm not kidding you, you find some people still go on LinkedIn and they are asking, how was your night? I was joking about it the other day, and I'm like, see, this is a professional platform. You want to say something, get straight to the point. Don't ask me how my how my night was. You don't want to know the details, So the question is, aside being professional, aside being, tact, you have to also develop yourself personally, your communication skills, your interpersonal skills, communication, interpersonal, what again, how you relate, with people on a large scale has to be something that endears people to you. So how are you developing that part? And you have to also do it with a lot of, don't go also getting too personal, because you're networking, you want that person to see you as a professional, but you also don't want to lose a human side of you. But don't go, you meet someone, Adebola on even if it is not LinkedIn, it's a mutual relationship. So you have to be professional with a human face. Let me just put it that way. Professional with a human face. And so you have to develop yourself such that you're a likable person and people can warm up to you. Then it then gets to the real crux, which is on the networking. Who can help you? And I'll give you an example again, a personal example. So there was this role that was opened in one of the big logistics company. And a friend reached out to me and said, we want to move. I know this person is trying to recruit. Do you want to go see them and have an interview with them? I said, oh, okay, I can. I said, do you know anybody there personally? No, I don't know personally. I just know that they're trying to get, I think it was chief strategy officer, something like that. I said, oh, that's a big role. Okay, so let's do it. But I kept on telling myself, I've worked all my life in FMCG. Like, I'm comfortable in that space. Logistics is not something I'm very open to, but of course, strategy is strategy. But you feel more comfortable when it's an area where you've been used to. Anyway, I went for the interview, and it wasn't a very, I got in there. Like, the interview was supposed to be, I think, 11. I went to the office and then sneaked out. It was before Corona. The way we sneak out of the office to go for interviews. So I sneaked out and I said, my next meeting, I think, was 1:00. And I said, I can brush off, go for the interview. Worst case, it takes about, 1 hour. I'm back to the office by, say, past 12, and then I can prepare for my meeting. I had it all figured out in my head. So I got there before 11, and the HR lady came in like 3 times to apologize that they would be late, and I started getting really irritated. I'm like, can we just keep to time? What's this? So I made up my mind after the 3rd time that if she doesn't call me in at this time, I'll just stand up and I'll go. Like, they would come and meet an empty, because they put me in a small office. I said, I'll just stand up and then I'll just go. I won't even, I won't say I'm leaving. I'll just stand up and go. And then when she pipped the last time, she said, oh, the MD is ready to see you. So I said, oh yeah. So now we can have the interview. So I went in, I met him, big office, big man and all that. And of course, I was very professional. And then we started talking. And then he said, okay. Then I was talking about my industry. So because the questions were more, it wasn't a question, it was like a chat. So it was more around I'm also looking at the time, so that I don't take all your time with gist. So the questions were coming and I was responding to the chats, not questions, because I wasn't tensed in any way. In fact, I told him that I didn't like that I've been waiting for a long time, and he apologized and all that. So it was a very good meeting. At the end of the day, I realized that I cannot take that job. I said, say, you need somebody that is up and running, that will be, plug and play for you. I'm not that person, because I can take the job, but I will need time to understand the industry, to understand the business before I can start adding meaningful value. But I can tell you it won't take forever, but I see that what you need, we're going to expand into, other African countries and all that. I said, what you need now is somebody that is happy, somebody happy to live where she is or where he is, and happy to jump on this boat and row immediately, the boat, not somebody that is still learning how to, row the boat. I said, I would look in my network, and if I can recommend someone, I would recommend. And then he was happy for my, he said, I was being sincere. It's not about the money, it's about the job. And then we started talking. Do you know that till tomorrow, he is still on my contact list? Because when I was leaving, he gave me his card, I gave him my card. And then we just started talking afterwards. Once in a while, he sends me a message, I send him a message and all that. I am oiling that relationship because I know that at some point I would need him. And that point came in last year. I'm still oiling. I was oiling, I'm still oiling. It came in last year. Last year, I wanted to change my job, but I wanted to go into entrepreneurship. And I said, you know what, I think I can do this. I think I can, blah, blah, blah. But I said, see, I know one person, because he started the business himself and the business has really grown. I said, I know somebody that I can go to that can guide me on this entrepreneurship. Forget all those things we read in the paper and all the books we read. Sometimes it's just for concepts, because sometimes the terrain is different. Running a business in the UK, for example, is massively different from running a business here in Nigeria. So you need somebody that is on ground here that can guide you. So I left and I went to meet him. It was about a 3-hour session. I'm telling you, I wouldn't get that even if I read 10 entrepreneurship books. I wouldn't get it. It was pure science. How did I meet this man? Just because I decided to go for an interview that I knew I wasn't going to get the job, but I just felt there is no harm in it. and just because I kept the relationship, open, and he kept on saying that, Debola, I want us to keep this relationship. I've lost touch of the industry, and I'm happy that we had this conversation, competency. And another thing, humility, because I was also saying that I'm not proud to say I can fix all these issues you have. No, I can fix issues, but I cannot fix this one because it will take me a bit of time to get on board. So I went to him and I kept on saying that, thank God that I didn't get angry and leave that day. Thank God I kept on oiling this relationship. That is networking, because I know I will need him at some point. I was able to go back and learn something from him. So you have to know who can help you at every point in time. If you go through your contact list today and you cannot find people that you can actually call to say, I know who to talk to when it comes to entrepreneurship, I know who to call when it comes to career. In 2021, January, I did something. I wanted to leave my job. And I asked myself, you can continue to say it all the time. What are you doing about it? Who can help you? So at the back of my Go book, I opened my phone, went through my contact list. At the back of my Go book, I was writing out names of those that I can actually send my CV to and say, I am ready for a career move because I think I'm ready for the next level. Because sometimes you might be leaving an organization, not because they've done anything wrong, but you're ready for a move, but it's not open. The role is not open in your current space. Then you have to move. So I said, okay, I'm ready for a career move. So what I did was I typed a message, attached my CV, and I started sending it to them one after the other. I sent to about 30 people to say, Happy New Year, how have you been doing? I wouldn't have been able to do that if I haven't been oiling the relationship. At the time I was networking with these people, trust me, I knew that these people will be one day instrumental to my growth. Some days before that day, one of my ways of oiling the relationship is also sending them a message. Every New Year, for example, I send them messages. I remember at some point I was trying to get the birthday dates of all of them so that I can send, even if it is a small gift, it is the mindfulness that matters. Or even if it is just to send a message to them to say, happy birthday, something like that. That is oiling the relationship, because if we don't oil it, it feels awkward to then go to them to say, find attached to my CV. They're like, do I owe you? And sometimes I also send, please feel free to pick my brain on any issue. Feel free to pick my brain. I can help you in this. If you need anything like financial analysis, if you need, please feel free to. Sometimes they send their own people to me to mentor. So they can say, oh, Adebola, please, my niece, I need a mentor for my niece. Can you help me mentor my niece? And I'm like, what am I doing? And I'm happy to do all those things because I know that is me oiling that relationship. One of my big mentor, who is the CEO of one of the big companies in Nigeria, last year called me and said, Adebola, in 2022, if you ask me for something and I say I am busy, Adebola, insist. Say that you cannot be too busy for me, insist. See, that felt like, and I'm like, and sometimes she comes to me, she says, Adebola, I'm looking for a logistics manager. Adebola, I'm looking for this. I'll say, let me check my network. I'll check. If I don't find, I'll say, if I find, I send out like 3 names and say, can you check this? That's oiling the relationship. How did I meet her? Networking, but it is intentional networking. I am not packing. I don't want to meet 1 million people. I just want to meet the people that can make a difference, because I know that the journey ahead, you cannot get there alone. Nobody eats alone. The journey ahead, you need people, but you need quality people. Les Brown will say OQP, only quality people. So I'm looking at the time. So the next one is who can help you. So you need to go through your phone and write out, the names of the people that that, with these people, I can always count on them. And they don't even have to be because you need people for different things. They don't have to be senior executives. No, sometimes it could be, oh, I like that this person reads a lot of books, and I know that, I probably will never find the time for it. Let me find out how she does it. Let me learn from her. Start oiling the relationship now. You can find, it could relate to career, it could relate to business, but you have to have those people on your contact list. If you don't have, put on your networking cap and start looking for people that are quality people that you can put in your space. And I would advise LinkedIn. I like LinkedIn a lot because it's reasonably sane, and there is no space that we have that you wouldn't find represented on LinkedIn, whether it's the tech space, whether it's business owners, even entrepreneurs, they are all there, represented. So you can actually search, look for someone, and then nicely craft a good email, a good message, and then throw it to them. But make sure your message is not saying, just say what you can also offer first. Say, okay, I can do this, please feel free to contact me, but I would also like to learn from you. And there's a way you put it, they just open up to you, they warm up to you. So the last one I will talk about before I run off is, how hard do you want it? So I talked about what do you want, clarity of direction, clarity of intention and purpose. I talked about how ready are you for this, professionally and personally. I talked about who can help you. That one is the crux, which is the most important thing, but you have to intentionally find them. You have to intentionally find those people and network with those people. And then the last one is, how hard do you want it? How, not desperate, what's your level of persistence? Because you see, you can reach out to 10 people and only one of them would, revert back to you. So don't be discouraged. You know what you're going for, and you have intentionally picked this person as a network. Just milk that opportunity as much as possible. But if the person is, not forthcoming, by all means, pick another person that can help you in that journey. So I think you have to be persistent, you have to be intentional, you have to connect with only quality people. I keep saying it's not, we call something in Yoruba, barogudu. You have, okay, so now this is me being cheeky. There is a post I saw, and I think it was somebody's WhatsApp story, and he said he scrolled through his entire contacts. Not one person can give him 1,000 naira. So please, I know that's not our case. Our case is different. But you see, I think the point is that we should make sure that we have people that can actually push us ahead in our sector. And if you look through today and do it today, if you look through today and you're like, this is where I'm going, I will need these people with these skill sets to help me get there. But you don't have them on your list, you don't have them on then intentionally go out to look for them, do them a message, tell them what you got at, tell them, please feel free. Do you know somebody, when I was writing my book at that time, somebody reached out to me and said she would edit my book for free. She said, I'm happy to edit your book for free. I see, because I used to post the manuscript and all that. And then she said, I would help you edit your book for free. Please let me know. And if you ever need me for any, all those proofreading and all that, please, I'm happy to help you. And then I said, that's very thoughtful of you, blah, blah, blah. But I know that she's also networking with me, and I know she would need something at some point. I went through her profile, and I was waiting that, whenever she needs, because there is no way she wouldn't, need something. We all need, each other. And I know that at every point in time that she comes to me to ask for something, I would also move, muscles to do that thing for her. And that's how it works. So it has to be, I'm coming to you, I'm coming with a lot of intentionality to network with you because I know I can offer value to you and you can also offer value to me. So I wanted to mention those things so that we don't forget. What do you want? Be clear on that. How ready are you for it? Are you preparing yourself for it? Imagine telling somebody, I like to be an entrepreneur. I already did a course in this. I did that. I did that. It sets the context very right for a valid discussion, because you want to be an entrepreneur. What have you done? Nothing. I just want to start. I'm just about. Then it makes it awkward. And then people see at the end of the day, I used to tell people it's all our individual goals. It's all our individual objectives. No one is going to run the race for us. We have to run the race ourselves. And then who can help you? How hard do you want it? So I think those are the points I put down to share with you today. I don't know if I have answered all, whatever questions you would probably have prepared before the session. And I think I also wanted to mention, and I like mentioning that even some very good extroverts don't network right. They are extroverts, they are, like that, but they still don't network the right way. So it's not about being an extrovert or an introvert. It's about going out with a lot of intentionality to meet somebody that can actually help you progress in your journey. I don't know if I have any question. I'll be happy to take it. I think I've covered basically what I wrote here to cover. Yeah. All right, any question for me?
Thank you, Ma. Thank you very much, Ma. So I think if you have questions, you can just type them out and I read. If you'd like to unmute and ask your question, you can go ahead to unmute.
Bukumi, yeah?
Yeah, thank you very much. Adebola, I don't know if that's good. Okay, yeah. Okay, thank you so much for the session. I really, really, really learned a lot from the session. And well, for me personally, I've been I've subbed really at networking, and I got some insightful information from it. However, one of the questions that always bothers me, or sometimes that discourages me from trying to network, is especially when it comes to career, is the issue of, okay, so this is because I'm a lady anyway, for some guys, or for most men are probably at the helm of, we've seen more women representatives lately, but it feels like sometimes men are actually the ones at the helm of some of these positions, or you see somebody doing something that you would like to do, and this person is a guy. How have you been? Have you ever had the conflict of interest where the man is actually interested in you and you're trying to navigate, he has what you want, and there's also that form of sexual I don't know, relationship on the table. I think you get it. So I think I've come to a crossroads in relationships like that, and it's been really hard trying to break through that barrier.
Yeah.
Any tips for
yeah, that's a valid question, really. And I'm glad that you raised it. So I'll tell you, you remember I said I met one CEO, and I went to him last year, 2021, when I was considering entrepreneurship. And when I was going, and this is, we're always recording this session, but this is strictly, anyway, I didn't mention his name. So, when I was going and I was in the car, I thought about it, I thought about it, and I'm like, what if I get in there and then, because of course the relationship has been professional, and at some point when I'm addressing him via chat, I am intentionally putting, okay, Egbon, Marini, Egbon, okay, intentionally I'm putting that because I also want to create that boundary so that he also understands that I don't need, because you see, sometimes also, I think the guys also misunderstand what we need. And because it's very hypersexualized world. So when you go in all nice, sometimes it might be misconstrued. So I try to define it, and I try to, is that I friend zone the person or I egbo zone the person, something like that. But when I was even still going, it kept on, what if, but it comes and I'm praying that it doesn't happen, because again, I know this person knows has what I want. This person can tell me if to go this route or to wait a few more years before going this route. How did it start? How did he source for his funding? How did he, I needed that information because I needed to know whether I was rushing things or not. And I went there, and you see, when I got in, blah, blah, blah. It's very kind of professional setting. And then he first of all said, sometimes you don't respond early. We joked about it, but the conversation did not go that route at all. So what am I saying? And it may have gone, if it were someone else. What I want to say, let's not put the barrier ourselves. Still try, still try. Don't put and again, you can sense these people. I can Google goats. Like if I see goats on the road, I can type goats on my streets, So I'm always doing research about that person. Not like you see everything there, but at least it gives you an idea of if this person's head is properly screwed on, or if this person is just a maniac, So that can, but I don't want to, and I keep telling myself not to shut down my opportunities by thinking that people always need something else from me. So my advice is, I get what you're saying, and that's why I gave you that example. That it didn't cross if I tell you it didn't cross my mind, it's a fat lie. It did cross my mind. But I said, I need this, and I would go. And if something else comes up, I shut down that relationship. And if something good comes out of it, I continue to nurture that relationship. So, but don't put the 2 tips. Try to define the boundary from the beginning. Say exactly what you need. Try to. My own way of doing it, like I said, is to zone the person. And I do, and I have even if you're a year older, and I know that I put you in that more space. Okay, like that, and I've not had that situation, and I also believe that they know. Don't let me put it that way, because I don't know if they know, but I suspect that they can have an idea about those that really want that thing from them and those that are actually, really in need for your help. But don't constrain yourself. Just try it out first. Even now you can have meetings virtually. I've had meetings during that time I was trying to move. Apart from speaking with him, I've spoken to I spoke to a lot of people, and it was all, virtually. So maybe you can try first, and then if they now insist, you have to come, then no, this person is a no-go. But don't constrain yourself. I don't think you should. Bukumi, you still have your hand up.
Thank you very much, Ma.
Thank you so much for the question, for the response.
Thank you.
I have another question.
Yeah, sure.
So do you think that as you grew or as you climbed the career ladder, it became easier for you to network? I mean, because once the perception is, when you just introduce yourself, you say, I am this, I work at this, it just gives them, okay, this person has a head in the right place. But for someone who is starting out, it's like harder because you probably don't exactly have like that template or that perception. Also, lastly, my other question is, you talked about persistence. When do you cross the line? When do you cross the line between persistence and being a disturbance?
Yeah,
I think that's my final question. Thank you.
Yeah, does it get easier? I don't think so. To be honest with you, I still get into some spaces and I find it really difficult to network. Even with who I work with, please, sometimes some people don't even care. I think it's about it's about the value. It's not about where you work, it's not about who, it's about the value you bring on board. And I'll tell you, if I didn't have, knowing now, if I was young in career and I was going to introduce myself, I'll probably introduce myself with the course I studied. I'm an accounting student. I'm passionate about accounting. I like to work with numbers. I've always loved, numbers. In my school, I was the best mathematics student in my school, something like that. I'll probably hang on to something. It may look small to you. The way we build our CV, even with a year work experience, somebody still expects you to call out your achievement. If you don't have achievements on your CV, please do it again. Because even if it is 1 year, it matters. It is about what did you achieve within that time. So I think it's about the value we have ascribed to ourselves and how we now put it across to people so that it matters to them. So that it gets easier, I don't think it does. The only thing I would say is maybe when somebody that you already have in your network refers you, it's easier. So when you're talking to that person, oh, good morning, Mr. Yinka, I got your number from Mrs. Sheone, it is easier. You get what I mean? It's a lot easier because it's referral. And that's why for all the programs, all the Gold Digger programs we do, we are always, saying, please give me someone in your network that can help me deliver this message. And then when they give me someone, oh, talk to the MD of clinical, this person can do it. When I'm calling the person, and I'll tell you, please, I'll call the person, but you also have to help me speak with the person. Oh, no problem, I'll talk to him. So I'm calling, hello, I got your number from, I'm this, and then I start introducing myself. I run a professional network, and blah, blah, blah. And then after all that talk, I'll call the person and say, I've spoken to him, please help me follow up. So maybe that gets easier, rather than cold calling on LinkedIn. That may be a bit, but using referrals, I know this person, most of the programs that we've had, I'm always bringing new people and they would ask me, where do you know this person? Somebody was like, where do you know Adebola Idowu? They keep asking, but you see, it is from meeting one person to one person. So start, but you know what we do with network marketing, start with a small set of people, and then those who know that person in your circle is also open to you to access. So you use one person to access all that person's network, and that's how it grows, that's how it grows. And then sometimes you ask yourself, can you refer me to, I see Mrs. Nkiru, can you connect me with Mrs. Nkiru? I think there's something I can learn from her, Okay, so that's the first one. I think is define what your value propositions are. What are those things that that with you, it's a no-brainer, I'm good at this, no contest, and then use that to sell yourself. And when do you cut the line? Honestly, once I do it twice, once I do it twice, I send you a reminder, then I stop. That's me. I stop after the second, because then I know I'm not striking the right chord, and then I let it go. So and I pick another person, because that solution I need has to come, So twice, if I reach somebody twice and the person is, I won't wait to be a nuisance. I will just move on. I've reached out to people before and, introduced myself and blah, blah, blah. I didn't get any response. And I didn't take it, I didn't take it badly, because I also know that sometimes people are very busy. Your message may be showing red, that they've read it, but trust me, they may not have read it. It may just be their hand, and that's how I console myself. It may just be their hand flashed through, and they said, they didn't say it, or they probably said, and they said, I'll respond later. And that's why I try to do the second time, to say, I see you've been busy, blah, 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 something like that, just to remind you that. And then if I still don't get a response, then I stop. Then I pick another person with maybe the similar profile that can help me. So you can, I think for you, it's about, after the second time, I just believe the person, that's not being busy anymore. You just don't have my time. Somebody reached out to me on LinkedIn and said, have I offended you? And blah, blah, blah. I had to go and read all the messages again. And it's like a peer, a meal pay. And I'm like, where did he get that idea from? I went to read and I saw that we've been chatting before. He told me he was going to change his job, blah, blah, blah. And I responded. He told me to help him look at the documents. And I said I would get to it, I would review it, and I would share it back. And since that time, all the things I was saying after, good afternoon, how are you today? No response from me. Another one, no response from me. Another one, no response from me. I said, I totally missed it. So you can see 3 times before he then sent a message that, did he say something that he shouldn't have said? Did he cross me? And I'm like, no, not at all. I'm so sorry. I didn't even know I read the messages. Because on LinkedIn, you will know whether the person has seen it. I said, I didn't even know I read the messages, that I'm sorry that, and then I now took my time, I went through it, and then I reverted. So you see, that's 3 times. So it depends on you and what you have threshold for. But if I'll do twice, basically. That's me, I'll do twice. I think there's a question. Has there ever been a time?
I would. Okay, do you want me to read it or you want to read it?
Actually, I'll read.
Okay.
Has there ever been a time when someone reached out to you for the first time just to pick your brain on a topic? What was your reaction and what would you advise? To be honest, if you, I think I like that term, pick your brain. I really like it. So for me, it connects with me. When somebody sends me a message, hello, Adebola, I'd like to pick your brain on, I'm happy. I'm really, well, not like I'm happy, but I'm more receptive to that tone because that person needs my help. That's how I say it. So, and I think people kind of connect and say they need. The only one I find hard to respond to is when it is job, because I don't have a company. And, so please find attached to my CV if you can help me with a job. To be honest, I don't know how to respond. So sometimes I say, okay, noted, that I pray that you get a good job. But sometimes also, maybe because there is no time, I just move on. So yes, there have been times, and then if it's just to pick my brain, I'm happy to, if I don't have experience and I cannot help, I tell you, sorry, this is not my space. I don't have enough, information to share. And what was your reaction and what would you advise? So yeah, you can reach out to someone to say, what, I'd like to, pick your brain on something. And this one is totally, I need your help. I may not have anything to offer, but I need your help. But my own advice is, when you're doing that, I think you should, if you really want to, if that person is somebody that you need in your network, you are sure you need that person in your network, just talk about your values. Like, what value can you bring to say, my name is Babu. Even if you've just finished, I just finished, my university, I'm very passionate about learning and growing, and I do a lot of research, See, there is a young lady that I have in my circle, and I think she's God sent. Very young. She has asked for my time twice, and I have booked, session with her to have proper session, proper coaching session with her. How did she do it? She would always come and say, I've not seen you online for a while. I guess you're busy. Is there anything I can help with? That thing used to, there was a day, okay. So I think there is a way you go about this thing. There's a way you go about this thing that endears people to you. I've not seen you. Is there? And then she would, maybe after a long while, she will not say, oh, she needs to take a decision. She got this job, but she needs to take a decision. She's not sure. Can we have a session? Then I'll tell her when it's possible. So it's more how you put it. Another young lady said, hello, ma, please confirm, is this your number, Glow or MTN? I want to send you airtime. I said, please don't. Thank you very much. I don't forget things like that, because every time she's coming, it's not to come and withdraw from the social account. She's also trying to deposit into that social account. So the time she comes to withdraw, there is something substantial in that account that she can withdraw from. Just the way I think Ora is withdrawing from a social account now, because like I said, it's hard to tell her no, because I know she has deposited, well into the account, and she can withdraw from that account. She's laughing. She can withdraw. That your account, it will soon dry up now. No, just kidding. So that's it. I don't know if I answered that question. I can't see Was that Christiana? Yeah, Christiana.
Yes,
I hope I answered
Christiana.
your question. Yeah. Okay. Do we have any other question?
So I think we don't have any hands off. So I think we'll just take one more question. If you have any question, you can unmute or drop them in the chat box. I would read them out. So, okay, so I'm trying to see if we have any other question. So I'm not sure, but I think, yes. So I think it was a great time of learning. I learned a thing or two to keep oiling and to be intentional about what you want. Clarity is very important when networking. Be clear on what you want so that you both don't go back and forth. Thank you very much, Ma. Thank you for honoring our invite. Thank you for a great time.
You're welcome.
Yes, Alaito said it was an amazing session. Thank you very much, Ma. We look forward to hosting you some other time. Thank you, Ma.
Thank you. All right. Take care of yourself. Please start networking from tomorrow. Intentional networking. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. And thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, Ma.
Bye-bye.